I mean, it takes a spark to start a fire. I didn't realise what I was starting. When that boat lifts out of the water and runs, it's a really exhilarating feeling, and it's a beautiful sound, and the stillness of the morning. Yeah, really, really fantastic.
Rowing is in Katrina Rowan's blood.
As a little girl watching my dad row, I really grew up around rowing and boat sheds. When we moved to Sydney and saw the water, the abundance of water, it was something that really appealed to me.
It's just past 4:30 on an early November morning in inner West Sydney, and around 20 students from Loreto Normanhurst Girls' School are about to begin their day. Unlike most teenagers at this time in the morning, who might rightfully be enjoying a sleep-in, these girls are about to spend the next few hours honing their craft out on the Parramatta River, and will be putting their strength and endurance to the test.
Obviously it's pretty brutal, like getting up at 4 a.m. Yeah, you've definitely got to have a love for the sport or you just won't get anything out of it. Like, I'm excited every morning to come here and get on the water. It's just like sort of my happy place.
There is a whole ceremony that must be performed before you can hit the water. From a warm-up and briefing,
So you'll do about 20 strokes, power strokes in that 4.
to physically placing the boats out on the water itself. 2 rowing boats of 8s make their way out past Huntley's Cove, followed closely behind by 2 support vessels. Today, the water resembles glass, and the sun is still yet to reveal itself. It's a beautiful sight to see, and quite typical for this time of year. However, that hasn't always been the case. The catalyst for change? A conversation between a daughter and her father 34 years ago.
The question was really asked, interestingly, from a place of freedom, curiosity and optimism, not from indignancy around why can't girls do this. It was one Sunday, I think, when I said to him, why don't girls do this? Why can't girls do this? And I think he said to me at the time, well, if you get a list of names together and come back, we'll see what we can do. And I think he thought that would be the end of me. But that was just the beginning, as it turns out.
That simple question back in 1989 would change the local sporting landscape forever. While it could be said there were school-aged females rowing within New South Wales at the time, there were only a handful, and that was at club level. Compared to what Katrina and Michael Rowan had experienced elsewhere, New South Wales was well behind the times, and change was overdue.
Victoria had a couple of thousand girls rowing annually in the schoolgirls' head of the river, and in New South Wales there were none. It didn't exist. So there was an enormous disparity between what was happening here in Victoria and even West Australia. My daughter said to me, Dad, you're coaching all these boys, what about coaching us girls? And so we started coaching the girls out of St Joseph's College. They were generous enough to allow us to use the equipment. So from that we formed a crew and organised a race.
That race would be known as the Gold Cup. It was attended by 3 schools, and of course, it was won by Loreto Normanhurst.
We were concerned actually getting a race and getting a regatta going, but once the crew got together, they wanted the boat to go fast, and it did. It's a good row. And that was the first schoolgirls race in New South Wales.
A bright start, but it would take more than a one-off race to truly get the ball rolling. Slowly but surely, interest and support for the idea of a full-time schoolgirls rowing program gained momentum.
We didn't actually compete at that point because there weren't really any other schools to compete against. And the following year we started our HSC, so unfortunately we thought it had fizzled away. My mum was working in the library here, and a group of girls came to her and said, you know that rowing crew that kind of got together last year? Can we do that again? And so the question came up a second time, and that's when it was looked at a little bit more seriously, I think. They thought, wow, this is a thing.
Through the hard work and dedication of the Rowans, Other interested students and their families, staff and officials, Loreto Normanhurst formed the first girls rowing crew in New South Wales informally in 1989 and then formally in the 1990-91 season.
And 3. Good power go.
Today, the school boasts a team 80 girls strong.
I would actually say I'm probably both humbled and proud of what I see now developing for girls, and the impact that rowing has had on my own personal development and my life worldview has been really incredible. And to know that that same formidable process is occurring for other girls is just fantastic. I'm also really grateful. I'm grateful to my dad, to the school for the education I had, which believed that we could do these things. Just to see that it's grown so substantially now is incredible, absolutely incredible. And to think that there's more female rowers actually than there are schoolboy rowers really says a lot about that. It's great. It really is one of those sports that is very demanding in terms of physical fitness, and so you really do explore and push your limits of your mind and your body at the same time, and to see that happening and that for those girls is really fantastic.